Comes to the House of Commons, when you remove somebody from caucus, you really are removing them from the party, because by the next election, they need to be running under the party label. And if they don't get back in the Prime Minister's good graces, they don't get to run as a Conservative, they don't get the blue signs, they don't get, the access to the war chest that the party association has. So when you get kicked out of caucus as a member of the House of Commons, it's a big deal, and you are seen as being thrown out of the party. The Senate's different because you're appointed until age 75. So even, like, for example, the Liberals have removed Macar from the Liberal caucus, or he's removed himself. But in every news story, people still refer to him as former Liberal senator. I suspect for some time, that people will see, especially since Mike Duffy was so partisan on behalf of the Conservatives since he left journalism and joined the political sphere, it's going to be hard to forget that he's a Conservative.
So if there is an investigation and he now sits as an independent, what does that mean? Does it mean anything?
Well, I guess what it means is that he will have no support and no cover from ministers or the strategists in the party who would probably be giving advice throughout this. He's on his own. He'll have to retain his own counsel. Now, he obviously has a good friend in Nigel Wright, but I doubt he'll be able to go back to that well again, just because it created such controversy. So he's pretty much on his own. The question will be is what can be pursued outside of the Senate. The catch in all this is under the British parliamentary privilege rules that Canada inherited in 1867, his MPs and senators are pretty much immune from police prosecution, from investigation, from things that happen outside. And it's up to the Senate itself to investigate its own members, to punish them, and so on. So while the RCMP is looking into this, and there seems to be some really questionable expenses that he claimed, it's not so clear how those get pursued if the Senate doesn't want to do it itself.
As a political observer, Bruce Hicks, how bad does this look on the PMO?
Well, the optics have looked very bad, just because, this was an embarrassing scandal for all of the senators who were named, right? It's a journalism-driven one in that it's reporters who raised questions because they knew Mike Duffy and they knew Pamela Wallin and so on. So they started asking questions about, well, these people have lived in Toronto or Ottawa most of their life. Why do we believe they now live in PEI or Saskatchewan? So they started asking questions, and that led to an audit and a committee asking for a report. It could have just probably stopped there, but the Prime Minister's office, it seems, got too clever by half and figured probably because Duffy's were the more questionable allegations, which is, billing the Senate, claiming to be in Ottawa when he was in Florida, or working on the campaign trail and claiming he's on Senate business. Maybe because of that or whatever relationship exists, it was thought, hey, let's pay this bill. That'll get Duffy settled right away, and there'll be no more questions. The problem is that once it became public knowledge that money had changed hands, and the source of it was the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, is it dragged the Prime Minister in far closer than he is with any of the other stories. That's the damage control that they're trying to